We're going to talk a little bit about playing in the pocket as a bass player in a worship context. The pocket usually consists of you as a bass player and then also your drummer. And a lot of people, I think, maybe have this misconception that the pocket is just playing rhythmically exactly what's happening with the kick drum. And there are a lot of times that that's like the most effective way to establish the pocket. But then there are also times that maybe just like driving on eighth notes or something will kind of like help establish that just as well, if not better. Like say if you're trying to like drive energy in a song, just playing what the kick is playing might feel a little bit lackluster or fall a little bit flat. Like the bass is so cool because it is a rhythmic instrument, but also a melodic instrument. So you have the ability to kind of like merge the two worlds, and you, with the rhythm of what you're playing, can help drive to the next section without really ever changing what else or the other things that are happening on stage. So I think a classic like example of a pocket, Matt, if you just want to play like a 4 on the floor with some hat, maybe throw in some snare here and there. Okay. This is kind of what that would look like.
1, 2, 3, 4.
So there, I just locked in with exactly what the kick was doing. And another thing that you can do as a bass player to help kind of make it feel more like a groove, even if you're playing something as simple as just like 4 on the floor. One of the things I did there was I played that little bit of like a mute before that 4th beat helps it feel like, I don't know, that space just helps, I feel like, create that pocket. And sometimes it's better to just play straight through. But if it is more of like a groove section of the song, if you go that little bit of a mute, just that little bit of space can help it feel a little bit more of like a groove as opposed to just like powering through. There are also times, maybe if you just want to like go into a build, but still like 4 on the floor.
Yep.
So this would be like a building section of a song. We're still going to be in the pocket, but I'm going to drive a little bit more what I'm playing and not just be playing like exactly what the kick is going to be playing.
1, 2, 3.
So I'm still playing like with him, but I'm not just playing that 4 on the floor. You can double up with 8th notes, or even there at the end, I went to 16th notes. We're still like in the pocket together. It still feels cohesive, but that can kind of like really help you get to the next section without just like playing exactly what the kick drum is playing. There are also times where just sitting in with what the kick drum is doing is absolutely the right call. So maybe if you want to go into like one of the later choruses of Good Plans here, I think that's a good example of that.
I played on hat or ride.
Ride, probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So like we're going to play through this chorus here, and I'm going to lock in exactly with what the kick is playing. And then maybe like towards the end of the section, I'll show like how you can deviate from that a little bit to like drive to the next section, but still keep that like pocket established. So when you do drop back into what the kick is playing, it's like that much more gratifying, you know?
1, 2.
So there I was playing pretty much exactly what the kick was playing. And then I also did some of those like string mutes that I was talking about just to give it that like quickest little breath. It's like you just get your head above water for like a second to go and then jump right back into it. It makes it feel like, I don't know, that like little bit of a break in there makes it feel like the pocket is that much more effective to me. And then there towards the end, like you can just kind of like build into the next thing and then sink back into it. So as far as the pocket goes, whenever you're like creating with your drummer, a lot of times a big part of establishing that pocket and maintaining it, even more importantly, I think, is really listening to what your drummer is playing. There are times there's just no way to know like what's going to come out in a fill from him, or for him to know what's going to come out in a fill for me. So I think a lot of times you got to be really like on your toes and ready to listen as far as like rhythmically what he's doing. And there are times that a lot of musicians have their tells where it's like, if Matt starts doing a certain thing, it's like, okay, I feel like he's about to do like a triplet thing into a drop. Like that comes with a lot of like history and playing together. That's another thing that's kind of important to me, is like having relationship with the drummer, like off the stage. Strangely enough, like that translates in establishing the pocket. I think when you know each other, especially in a musical context, but even like on a personal level, I think that like you just have that chemistry together, and it comes through. And I think that is like a huge part of creating that pocket. But there are times where it's like, we'll talk through in a rehearsal, like, hey, I noticed you kind of like did this fill here. How can I support that? Like, what notes can I play, but also like what rhythm can I play them that it supports like what it is that he's about to do in a section, without it feeling like we're kind of like stepping all over each other, you know? So we can go into that chorus real quick if you want.
Remind me. So it's
So that'd be the da 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 ga da da da.
just the hands part. Great. So
All right, here we go.
1, 2, 3.
So there we started with like a build section, but beforehand we knew that this like triplet fill that Matt was going to do was coming up. So I talked with him about not only like rhythmically, how can I support that? And in that particular instance, like playing the da, 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 that triplet thing with him was what supported it best, as opposed to like doing something with a conflicting rhythm, but also like choosing your notes there. Like that works with musically what everyone else is doing as well. So that's kind of what I was talking about earlier, with this instrument being a bridge between what's happening rhythmically with the drums and melodically what's happening with all the other instruments and vocalists on stage. And then after we got out of that triplet fill, we went right back into the groove, which just felt like really satisfying after like deviating from that for a little bit. Like we did a build, we did a fill, and then released back into that groove. And then it's like, okay, like kind of gets your head bopping a little bit, you know, like gets you moving. You feel it when you're in the pocket, you know? So we just kind of showed you what it feels like to establish that pocket, how to like go into a build and then jump right back into that pocket. I think it's also equally important to maybe recognize like when you as a bass player are doing something that like detracts from that pocket or kind of like takes away from it. So like I'm gonna have Matt play pretty much the same like chorus groove that we were working off of earlier, and I'm gonna maybe like not lock in with him as much, and it might be like more fun to play like that at times, but like what serves the moment more often than not is like being in that pocket, really having that like rhythm, that like heartbeat of the song established, as opposed to like taking away from that.
1, 2, 3.
So it's like cool to like play a bunch of stuff in the pentatonic scale or whatever. Like it might be impressive to some people, but like there's no like I said earlier, there's no like heartbeat of the song there. There's nothing like grounding there. You don't have that firm foundation that the rest of the band and the vocalist can like build onto, unless we really like lock in with that da 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 da. Like that just feels so much more stable than what I just chose to play on top of what he was playing there.